What's going on, guys? And welcome back to another video on the Talking Gas podcast. Welcome back. Make sure you leave a like, make sure you subscribe, leave your thoughts on the comments on the new signing. Also leave your thoughts on the comments. Let me know how many more positions you think we need to add to the squad. But yeah, getting into it, Ryan Howley becomes our 7th edition of the summer window. Also signing on a 2-year deal like the rest of the 6 other signings we've made. Of course, he was on a very short trial, but has now signed after his release from Coventry. So yeah, for me personally, it's quite an interesting one because he's a player that's not played many games, but he is still quite a young player. I'm sure there is, a lot of potential. He seems to be quite a physical player. Of course, I was at the game against Chippenham Town the other day as well. I thought he'd done what he needed to do, kept it quite simple, very strong, very physical, standing at 6'1". He was very solid in the tackle. Yeah, he was at Coventry for a very long time, joined them at the age of 6, and obviously recently got released in the summer at the age of 21. Made his debut in 2021 at the age of 17, signed his first professional deal at the age of 16 the year before. Only made 8 appearances at Coventry, 5 in the league, 3 in the cup, although there is a lot of good words spoken about him at Coventry. He seems to be a really good young pro that is, willing to learn. Also a good person, a good character, which of course is a plus. He has been very unlucky, as what a lot of Coventry fans have said, because he has picked up quite a few injuries. He also had a couple of injuries in the last 2 years as well, while he's been on loan in Scotland, according to Dan Hargreaves on his latest piece he's done as well. So yeah, last 2 years he was on loan in the Premiership in 23-24 with Dundee in Scotland, made 14 appearances but only made 2 starts. Last year he was on loan at Ayr United under Scott Brown, the former Celtic and Fleetwood player and manager, where he made 13 appearances but only 3 starts. So yeah, only 35 appearances in his career so far, with 12 starts at Coventry, Ayr United and Dundee. So not played a lot of games, but looking what Darrell Clark and Ricky Martin have said, they thinks he's a player, exciting player with a lot of potential. Comes in as our second midfield addition of the summer after Josh McEachran. So that's 3 centre midfielders at the moment. I think all of them have got various things that they can offer. Josh McEachran is more of the, dictator, player with a good passing range, can easily control the tempo. You've got Conte, who's more of the defensive player that likes to mop up in front of the back line, very physical, very strong, a quality player. And then you've got Ryan Howley, who comes in as more of a physical player. Of course, our tallest player at the moment. I still think we need another midfielder. Of course, Hutchinson and Kofi can play in centre mid, but they're naturally more attacking number 10s who like to drift into the pocket and create chances, score goals, etc. Quite an interesting one because, as Dan Hargreaves said on one of his articles yesterday, negotiations were pretty much done before he even played against Chippenham. So yeah, it's quite an interesting one. Of course, I haven't seen a lot of him. Of course, I was at the game, but going off that game, it's Chippenham at the end of the day. But obviously, they think he's a good player. Hopefully, he can do really well. Hopefully, we can stay fit. It's interesting. I know Darrell Clark said in his interview after the Chippenham game that he wants a small squad, but although I do like the players that we signed, we have got quite a few players that have had injury issues within the squad. You look at Promise, Alfie, Southern Hells. McEachran hasn't played a lot of games over the last couple of years at Oxford, so I still think we need 4 or 5. So yeah, do let me know. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing Ryan Howley in action. From an outside perspective or a fan's perspective, you'd think he'd be a backup, but hopefully for him, he can do really well. It'll be funny for him playing against Coventry as well in our last pre-season friendly at the Mem against Frank Lampard, who released him. So, but yeah, hopefully he can do really well, stay fit, play a lot of games, enjoy a really good season, personally and as a squad. And yeah, I'd like to welcome Ryan Howley to the Gas. Make sure you leave any more thoughts in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe, like the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Up the Gas.